Listen carefully, because what I'm about to reveal will completely change the way you look at your everyday pocket change forever. People scroll past opportunities every single day, ignoring small coins that could quietly hold surprising value. And today, we are diving into something just as powerful: the top 7 rare 5-cent coins, also known as Jefferson Nickels, that could be hiding in your collection right now. These are not just ordinary coins. They are silent assets, overlooked treasures sitting in drawers, wallets, and jars, waiting for someone with the right eye to recognize their true worth. Many collectors across the world are constantly searching for these rare nickels, not because of their face value, but because of their condition, their uniqueness, and in some cases, their unusual dark or toned appearance that gives them a mysterious and highly desirable look. Some of these coins may appear slightly blackened or toned due to age or environmental exposure, but instead of reducing value, this can actually increase their appeal when the toning is natural and attractive. The shocking truth is that most people already have these coins but never take a second look. A simple 5-cent coin can carry small details, tiny errors, sharp designs, or perfect surfaces that separate it from millions of others. That difference is what collectors are willing to pay for. While not every coin will make you rich overnight, some can still be worth far more than you ever imagined. And here's the exciting part: you don't need to be an expert to start. All it takes is awareness. The coins you already own could include one of these hidden gems. So don't rush to spend them. Take a closer look, examine the details, and you might just discover that what seemed ordinary is actually something truly special. Let's start. Coin number 1. Imagine pulling a simple 5-cent coin from your pocket and realizing that this tiny piece of metal might carry a hidden story that most people never notice. The 2007 nickel produced by the United States Mint looks completely ordinary at first glance, but in the world of coin collecting, ordinary is often just a disguise. Beneath that simple surface could lie rare details, minting mistakes, or exceptional quality that transforms a common coin into something collectors actively search for. The Jefferson nickel has been part of American currency for decades, proudly carrying the face of Thomas Jefferson. By 2007, the design had already entered a modern phase with a forward-facing portrait and a clean reverse showing Monticello. Millions of these coins were produced, which is exactly why most people think they are worthless beyond face value, but that belief is where the real story begins. The reality is simple and powerful at the same time: not every 2007 nickel is valuable. In fact, most of them are still worth only 5 cents today because they were made in huge numbers. But hidden within those millions of coins are a few rare pieces that stand out, and those are the coins that collectors are willing to pay serious money for. The biggest reason a 2007 nickel can become valuable is because of mint errors. These errors happen during production when something goes wrong in the striking process. A coin might be off-center, double-struck, or struck on the wrong metal. These mistakes are rare, and because of that rarity, collectors see them as unique treasures. Some of the most interesting errors include die cracks, weak strikes, and clipped planchets. A die crack appears as a raised line across the coin caused by a broken die. A weak strike makes parts of the design look faded or incomplete. A clipped planchet means a piece of the coin is missing from the edge. Each of these errors turns an ordinary nickel into something special. Condition is another major factor that can completely change the value of a coin. A coin that looks brand new with sharp details and no scratches is called mint state. The higher the condition, the higher the value. A 2007 nickel in perfect condition can be worth much more than one that has been used in daily transactions. One of the most important features collectors look for is something called full steps. On the back of the coin, the building Monticello has steps, and if those steps are fully visible and sharply defined, the coin becomes much more desirable. This small detail can increase the value significantly, especially in high-grade coins. There are also special versions of the 2007 nickel made for collectors, such as satin finish coins. These coins were not meant for everyday circulation and have a different texture and appearance. Because they were produced in limited numbers, they can sometimes be worth more than regular circulation coins. Now, it is important to clear one big myth: the idea that a 2007 nickel can make you a millionaire overnight is mostly exaggerated. No normal example of this coin has sold for millions of dollars. However, rare error coins or perfect condition examples can still sell for hundreds or even thousands, which is still impressive for a 5-cent coin. The excitement of coin collecting comes from the possibility that any coin could be special. Every time you check your pocket change, you have a chance, even if it is small, to discover something valuable. That sense of mystery and surprise is what makes coin hunting so addictive. If you think you have a 2007 P nickel, start by examining it carefully. Look at the mint mark, check the details of the design, and use a magnifying glass if possible. Pay attention to anything unusual like doubling cracks or misalignment, because those small details can make a big difference. One common mistake people make is cleaning their coins. Cleaning may make the coin look shiny, but it actually reduces its value. Collectors prefer coins in their original condition, even if they look slightly worn, because originality is more important than shine. If your coin looks special, the next step is professional grading. Experts can examine the coin, confirm if it has a real error, and assign it a grade based on its condition. A graded coin is easier to sell and usually trusted more by buyers. The coin market changes over time depending on demand and collector interest. A coin that seems ordinary today might become more valuable in the future as more people start collecting modern coins and searching for rare varieties. In the end, the 2007 P nickel is not just a simple coin, it is a reminder that value can hide in the most unexpected places. Most of these coins will remain worth only 5 cents, but a few carry something more: a rare mistake, a perfect strike, or a unique feature that makes them stand out. So before you spend your next nickel, take a moment and look at it carefully, because sometimes the smallest and most overlooked things can hold surprising value, and even if it does not make you rich overnight, it could still be worth far more than you ever imagined. Coin number 2. Imagine reaching into your pocket and pulling out a simple 5-cent coin, never realizing that this small piece of metal could hold a hidden story that most people completely overlook. The 2013 D. Jefferson Nickel, struck at the United States Mint in Denver, appears ordinary to the average person. But in the world of coin collecting, ordinary coins sometimes carry extraordinary secrets, tiny details that can transform them from everyday change into something collectors truly value. The Jefferson Nickel has been a part of American history since 1938, featuring Thomas Jefferson on the front and Monticello on the back. By 2013, the design had become modern and refined, with a sharp forward-facing portrait. Millions of these coins were produced, which is exactly why most people assume they are not worth more than 5 cents, but that assumption is where the hidden story begins. The truth is simple but important to understand. Most 2013 D nickels are only worth their face value. There is no common version that is secretly selling for millions of dollars. The idea of becoming a billionaire overnight from a regular nickel is mostly exaggerated. However, within those millions of coins, there are rare exceptions, and those are the coins that can attract serious attention from collectors. One of the biggest reasons a 2013 D nickel can become valuable is because of mint errors. During the minting process, coins are produced at high speed, and sometimes mistakes happen. These mistakes can include double strikes, off-center designs, or coins struck on the wrong metal. When such errors occur, they create coins that are different from the rest, and rarity is what drives value in the collecting world. Some of the most fascinating errors include die cracks, where thin raised lines appear due to a damaged die, and weak strikes, where parts of the design look faded or incomplete. There are also clipped planchets, where a piece of the coin is missing from the edge. These unusual features turn a normal coin into a collectible item that stands out in the market. Condition is another powerful factor that can dramatically change the value of a coin. A coin that has never been used in circulation and still looks fresh and sharp is called mint state. The higher the quality, the higher the potential value. A 2013 D nickel in excellent condition can be worth far more than one that has been scratched, worn, or damaged over time. Collectors also pay close attention to fine details, especially the steps on Monticello. If those steps are fully visible and sharply defined, the coin may qualify for what is known as a full steps designation. This small detail can make a big difference, increasing the desirability and price of the coin significantly among serious collectors. Another interesting aspect of 2013 nickels is that some were produced with special finishes for collectors. These coins were not intended for everyday use and often have a smoother or more detailed appearance. Because they were made in smaller numbers, they can sometimes carry higher value than regular circulation coins. Now it is important to separate excitement from reality. No widely verified 2013 D nickel has sold for millions of dollars. Even the rarest examples usually sell for hundreds or, in exceptional cases, thousands. While that may not make someone a billionaire overnight, it is still impressive for a coin that originally had a value of just 5 cents. The real thrill of coin collecting comes from the possibility. Every coin you check could be the one that stands out. Most will be ordinary, but once in a while, someone discovers a coin with a rare feature, and that moment of discovery is what makes this hobby so exciting. If you think you have a 2013 D nickel, start by examining it closely. Look at the mint mark D, study the details of Jefferson's portrait, and carefully inspect the reverse design. Using a magnifying glass can help you spot small differences that are not visible to the naked eye. One important mistake to avoid is cleaning your coin. Cleaning might make it look shiny, but it actually reduces its value. Collectors prefer coins in their natural condition, even if they show slight wear. Keeping the coin untouched preserves its originality and appeal. If your coin appears unusual or in excellent condition, you may consider professional grading. Experts can evaluate the coin, confirm any errors, and assign it a grade. A graded coin is more trusted in the market and can often sell for a higher price because buyers know exactly what they are getting. The value of coins also depends on demand. The market changes over time, and certain coins become more popular as collectors focus on different years or varieties. A 2013 D nickel that seems ordinary today could gain more attention in the future as interest in modern coins continues to grow. In the end, the 2013 D nickel is a perfect example of how value can hide in plain sight. Most of these coins will remain worth only 5 cents, but a small number carry something extra, a rare error, a perfect strike, or an exceptional detail that makes them special. So before you spend your next nickel, take a closer look, because sometimes the smallest coin can hold a story far more valuable than you ever imagined. Coin number 3. Imagine picking up a simple 5-cent coin and suddenly realizing it might carry a hidden story that most people never notice. The 2014 P. Jefferson nickel, struck at the United States Mint in Philadelphia, looks completely ordinary at first glance. But in the world of coin collecting, ordinary coins sometimes hide extraordinary secrets, tiny details, rare imperfections, and exceptional quality that can turn a common coin into something collectors truly value. The Jefferson nickel has been part of everyday American life since 1938, proudly featuring Thomas Jefferson on the front and his historic home Monticello on the back. By 2014, the design had reached a modern and sharp appearance, with clean lines and refined details. Millions of these nickels were produced, which is exactly why most people assume they are only worth 5 cents, but that belief is where the real mystery begins. The truth, however, needs to be understood clearly. Most 2014 P nickels are not rare and are still worth their face value. The idea that every such coin can sell for millions is exaggerated. But hidden among those millions are a few special examples that stand apart, and those rare pieces are the ones that collectors are willing to pay serious money for. One of the biggest reasons a 2014 P nickel can become valuable is because of mint errors. During production, coins are struck at high speed, and sometimes mistakes happen. These mistakes might include double strikes, off-center designs, or coins struck on the wrong metal. Such errors are rare, and rarity is exactly what drives value in the world of collecting. Some of the most fascinating errors include die cracks, where lines appear due to damage in the striking die, and weak strikes, where parts of the design look incomplete. There are also clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin is missing from the edge. These unusual features transform an ordinary coin into something unique and desirable. Condition plays an equally powerful role in determining value. A coin that has never been used and still looks fresh, sharp, and flawless is considered mint state. The higher the quality, the higher the value. A 2014 P nickel in top condition can be worth significantly more than one that has been worn down through circulation. Collectors also look closely at the fine details of the coin, especially the steps on Monticello. If those steps are fully visible and clearly defined, the coin may receive a full steps designation. This small detail can make a huge difference in value, especially when combined with high condition. Another interesting aspect of 2014 nickels is that some were produced in special finishes for collectors. These coins were not meant for everyday use and often have a smoother texture and more refined appearance. Because they were made in smaller numbers, they can sometimes carry higher value than regular circulation coins. Now it is important to separate excitement from reality. No commonly known 2014 P nickel has sold for millions of dollars. Even the rarest examples typically reach values in the hundreds or, in exceptional cases, thousands. While that may not make someone a billionaire overnight, it is still remarkable for a coin that started as just 5 cents. The real excitement of coins like the 2014 P nickel lies in the possibility. Every coin you check could be something special. Most will be ordinary, but occasionally, someone discovers a rare error or an exceptional piece, and that moment of discovery is what makes coin collecting so thrilling. If you believe you have a 2014 P nickel, start by examining it closely. Look at the mint mark, study Jefferson's portrait, and carefully inspect the reverse design. Using a magnifying glass can help reveal small details that might otherwise go unnoticed. One common mistake people make is cleaning their coins. Cleaning might make a coin look shiny, but it actually reduces its value. Collectors prefer coins in their original, untouched condition because that preserves authenticity and appeal. If your coin appears unusual or in excellent condition, professional grading can be an important step. Experts can verify whether the coin has a genuine mint error and assign it a grade based on its condition. A graded coin is easier to sell and often commands a higher price. The value of coins also depends on market demand. Over time, certain coins become more popular as collectors focus on specific years or varieties. A 2014 P nickel that seems ordinary today could gain attention in the future as interest in modern coins continues to grow. In the end, the 2014 P nickel is a reminder that value can exist in the most unexpected places. Most of these coins will remain worth only 5 cents, but a few carry something extra, a rare mistake, a perfect strike, or a unique detail that sets them apart. So before you spend your next nickel, take a closer look, because sometimes the smallest coin can hold a story and a value far greater than you ever imagined. Coin number 4. Imagine pulling out a simple 5-cent coin and suddenly questioning everything you thought you knew about pocket change. The 2017 P Jefferson nickel, struck by the United States Mint, looks completely ordinary, but in rare cases, this small coin can carry hidden details that collectors chase with serious passion. What seems like nothing more than loose change can sometimes turn into a story of rarity, precision, and unexpected value. The Jefferson nickel has long been a symbol of everyday currency, featuring Thomas Jefferson on the front and Monticello on the back. By 2017, the design had become modern, sharp, and highly detailed. But the real mystery lies not in the design itself, it lies in the tiny differences that most people never notice but collectors obsess over. Now here is the truth that many people don't want to hear. Most 2017 P nickels are only worth 5 cents. They were produced in huge numbers, over 700 million pieces, making them extremely common in circulation. But hidden within that massive production are a few coins that stand out, and those are the ones that can carry real value. CoinValueChecker.com. A normal 2017 P nickel in good condition might only be worth a little more than face value, sometimes around $1 to $2 if it is uncirculated. That may not sound exciting, but the story changes completely when you step into the world of rare varieties and mint errors. CoinValueChecker.com. The biggest factor that can turn this coin into something valuable is a mint error. During the high-speed production process, mistakes can happen. A coin might be struck off-center, creating a dramatic shift in the design. In some cases, the metal spreads incorrectly, creating what is known as a broad strike error. These types of coins can sell for noticeable premiums because they are rare and visually unique. CoinValueChecker.com. Some error coins are even more fascinating, like die cracks or die clashes. A die crack appears as a raised line across the coin, while a die clash can leave ghost-like impressions of one side onto the other. A 2017 P nickel with a strong die crack or clash has been known to sell for tens of dollars, and sometimes more depending on its appearance. CoinValueChecker.com. Another type of error that collectors look for is a clipped planchet, where a portion of the coin is missing due to a cutting mistake before the coin was struck. These coins look unusual immediately, and because of that, they attract attention. Depending on size and condition, such errors can sell anywhere from modest amounts to over $100. CoinValueChecker.com. But error alone is not enough. Condition is just as important. A coin that looks brand new, with no scratches and full detail, is considered mint state. High-grade coins, especially those graded MS67 or higher, become much harder to find. In fact, a top-grade 2017 P nickel with perfect features once reached over $2,500 in auction, showing how condition alone can dramatically increase value. CoinValueChecker.com. Collectors also focus on a special detail known as full steps. This refers to the steps on Monticello being completely visible and sharply struck. Most coins lose this detail due to weak strikes, so when a coin has full, clear steps, it becomes more desirable. This small feature can turn a common coin into a premium collectible. CoinValueChecker.com. Now let's talk about the dream that everyone wants to believe, the idea that a 2017 P nickel can make you a millionaire overnight. The reality is different. There is no confirmed ordinary 2017 P nickel worth millions of dollars. The highest prices are seen in perfect condition coins or rare error pieces, but even then, they reach thousands, not millions. CoinValueChecker.com. Still, the excitement remains real. Because even if the chances are small, they are not zero. Every coin you check has a possibility, however tiny, of being something rare. That is what makes coin collecting feel like a treasure hunt hidden in everyday life. If you have a 2017 P nickel, take a closer look. Check the mint mark, observe the details of Jefferson's portrait, and study the reverse carefully. Use a magnifying glass if you can. Look for anything unusual, lines, doubling, missing parts, or strange shapes. These details are where hidden value lives. One important warning: never clean your coin. Cleaning may make it look shiny, but it destroys collector value instantly. Serious collectors always prefer coins in their original condition, even if they are slightly worn. Originality matters more than appearance. If your coin looks special, consider getting it professionally graded. Experts can confirm whether it is a genuine error and assign it a condition grade. A graded coin becomes more trusted and often more valuable in the market. In the end, the 2017 P nickel is not a guaranteed path to millions, but it is a perfect example of hidden potential. Most of these coins will always remain worth just 5 cents, but a small number carry something extra: an error, a perfect strike, or a rare detail that makes them stand out. And sometimes, that is enough to turn an ordinary coin into something truly worth holding on to. Coin number 5. Imagine pulling a simple 5-cent coin from your pocket and suddenly realizing that this tiny piece of metal might carry a hidden mystery that most people ignore every single day. The 2020 D Jefferson nickel, struck by the United States Mint in Denver, looks completely ordinary at first glance. But in the world of coin collecting, the most ordinary coins sometimes hide the most unexpected stories. Stories of rare errors, perfect strikes, and surprising value. The Jefferson nickel has been a part of American life for decades, featuring Thomas Jefferson on the front and Monticello on the reverse. By 2020, the design had become modern, sharp, and highly detailed. Millions of these coins were produced, which is exactly why most people never give them a second look, but hidden within that massive number lies a small chance of something special. Let's get one thing clear right from the start. Most 2020 D nickels are worth only their face value. They were produced in extremely high numbers, hundreds of millions, making them very common in circulation. That means the average coin you find in your pocket is not going to make you rich overnight. Coin no. But here is where the story becomes interesting. While most are ordinary, a very small number of 2020 D nickels carry rare characteristics that collectors are willing to pay for. These coins stand out because of errors, condition, or unique details that separate them from the rest. And that is where real value begins to grow. Mint errors are the biggest reason a 2020 D nickel can become valuable. During the production process, coins are struck at incredible speed, and sometimes mistakes happen. These mistakes might include double designs, off-center strikes, or unusual surface marks caused by foreign material. Each error creates a coin that is different, and rarity always attracts collectors. One of the most sought-after errors is the doubled die, where the letters or design appear doubled due to misalignment during die creation. On some 2020 nickels, this doubling can be seen in words like "Liberty" or "In God We Trust." Coins with strong doubling can sell for noticeable premiums, sometimes reaching hundreds of dollars depending on quality. Coin no. Another fascinating error is the strike-through, where an object gets between the die and the coin during striking. This leaves unusual marks or blank areas on the surface. These coins are completely unique because no two strike-through errors look exactly the same, and that uniqueness adds to their appeal and value. Coin no. There are also smaller errors like die chips, which appear as tiny raised bumps on the coin. These might seem minor, But even these small imperfections can add value, especially if they are clearly visible and well preserved. Coin condition is another powerful factor that can completely change the value of a coin. A 2020D nickel that looks brand new, with sharp details and no wear, is called mint state. High-grade coins are much harder to find because even small scratches or handling marks can lower the grade. That is why collectors pay more for coins that look perfect. One of the most important features collectors look for is something called full steps. This refers to the steps on Monticello being fully visible and sharply struck. Coins with full steps are rarer and more desirable. Some high-grade 2020D nickels with this feature have sold for hundreds of dollars, showing how a small detail can make a big difference. Coin in rare cases, exceptional coins have reached impressive auction prices. A top-condition 2020D nickel with full steps has sold for hundreds of dollars, proving that even modern coins can carry surprising value when everything aligns perfectly. Coin Now let's address the biggest claim, the idea that a 2020D nickel can make you a millionaire or billionaire overnight. The truth is simple and honest. There is no confirmed normal 2020D nickel worth millions of dollars. Even the rarest examples usually reach hundreds or, in extreme cases, thousands, but not millions. However, that does not make these coins boring. In fact, it makes them more exciting, because the value comes from knowledge and discovery. Every coin you check has a small chance of being different, and that possibility is what makes coin collecting feel like a real-life treasure hunt. If you have a 2020D nickel, take a closer look. Examine the mint mark, study the details of Jefferson's portrait, and carefully inspect the reverse. Use a magnifying glass to look for doubling, cracks, or unusual marks. Sometimes the smallest detail can reveal something valuable. One of the biggest mistakes you can make is cleaning your coin. Cleaning may make it look shiny, but it destroys its collector value. Serious collectors always prefer coins in their original, untouched condition, even if they show slight wear. If your coin looks special or unusual, professional grading is the next step. Experts can confirm whether it is a real error and assign it a grade based on its condition. A graded coin is more trusted and often sells for a higher price in the market. In the end, the 2020D nickel is not just a simple coin, it is a reminder that value can hide in the smallest and most unexpected places. Most of these coins will remain worth only 5 cents, but a few carry something extra, a rare error, a perfect strike, or a unique detail that sets them apart. And sometimes, that is enough to turn an ordinary coin into something truly worth holding on to. Coin number 6. Listen carefully, because the 2022 P5-cent coin, commonly known as the Jefferson nickel, is one of those everyday coins that people ignore without a second thought. It comes from the United States Mint in Philadelphia, and billions of these coins were produced. At first glance, it feels completely ordinary. But in the hidden world of coin collecting, even an ordinary-looking nickel can carry secrets that most people never notice. On the front of this coin, you'll see the face of Thomas Jefferson, one of the most important figures in American history. On the back stands Monticello, his historic home. This design has been refined over the years, and by 2022 it reflects a modern, detailed version. But what truly matters isn't just the design. It's the tiny details within that design that can turn a 5-cent coin into something far more valuable. Now here is where reality and hype must be separated. Many viral claims say a 2022 P-nickel can make you a millionaire overnight. That is not true. No verified 2022 P-nickel has ever sold for millions. However, that does not mean these coins are worthless. In fact, some rare versions have sold for hundreds of dollars, and in exceptional cases, close to $900 depending on condition and quality. CoinValueChecker.com. The biggest factor behind value is condition. A regular 2022 P-nickel in circulation is worth exactly 5 cents. But if you find one in perfect, untouched condition, what collectors call mint state, it can be worth significantly more. High-grade coins, especially those graded MS67 or higher, are extremely rare because even the smallest scratch or mark lowers the grade. One of the most powerful value boosters is something called full steps. This refers to the steps on Monticello being fully visible and sharply struck. If all the steps are clear and unbroken, collectors consider the coin premium quality. That one detail alone can multiply the value many times compared to a normal coin. CoinValueChecker.com. But the real treasure lies in mint errors. These are accidental mistakes during production, and they are what truly excite collectors. A 2022 P nickel with a double die error, where the letters or numbers appear doubled, can sell for far more than face value. These errors are rare because they occur during the die creation process itself. Another fascinating error is the strike-through error. Imagine a tiny object, like dust or fiber, getting trapped during the coin strike. That object leaves a mark on the coin, creating a unique pattern. Some of these dramatic strike-through coins have sold for up to a few $100s depending on how clear and unusual the mark is. CoinValueChecker.com. There are also die chips, small raised bumps caused by damaged minting tools. While they may look like flaws, collectors often see them as signatures of rarity. Some 2022 P nickels even have nicknames based on these errors, making them more desirable in the collecting community. Another rare variety includes die clash errors. This happens when the coin dies strike each other without a blank coin in between, leaving ghost-like images on the final coin. In some 2022 P nickels, faint outlines of Jefferson can appear where they shouldn't be, creating a strange and collectible effect. CoinValueChecker.com. Color can also play a role. While nickels don't change color as dramatically as pennies, unusual tones caused by minting issues, like improper heating, can increase value. These coins stand out because they look different from the standard shiny nickel appearance. It's also important to understand how many of these coins exist. Over 1 billion 2022 nickels were produced, which means rarity doesn't come from quantity, it comes from uniqueness. Only a tiny fraction of those coins have errors or exceptional quality, and those are the ones collectors compete for. CoinValueChecker.com. Now let's talk about the dream everyone wants to hear, the idea of becoming rich overnight. While it's true that some coins in history have sold for millions, those are usually extremely rare, older coins with historical importance. A modern 2022 P nickel is unlikely to reach that level. But finding one worth hundreds of dollars in your pocket change is still an exciting and realistic possibility. The reason this topic is so powerful is because these coins are still in circulation. That means anyone, anywhere, could find one. You don't need to be a professional collector. All you need is attention to detail, patience, and a bit of curiosity. So the next time you see a 2022 P nickel, don't ignore it. Look closely. Check the letters, the steps, the surface, and the shine. What looks like a simple 5-cent coin could actually be something much more interesting hiding in plain sight. In the end, this coin is not just about money, it's about discovery. It's about seeing value where others see nothing. And while it may not make you a billionaire overnight, it absolutely has the potential to surprise you in ways you never expected. Coin number 7. Listen carefully, because the 2022 D5-cent coin, better known as the Jefferson nickel from the Denver Mint, might look like just another small piece of change, but in the right circumstances, it can hold surprising value. Struck by the United States Mint in Denver, this coin carries the D Mint mark, quietly stamped to the right of Thomas Jefferson's portrait. To most people, it's just 5 cents. To collectors, it's a potential hidden gem waiting to be discovered. At first glance, nothing about the 2022 D nickel feels extraordinary. It follows the same modern design used in recent years, featuring Jefferson on the front and Monticello, his historic home, on the back. But as with many modern coins, the real story is not what you see immediately. It's in the tiny details, the imperfections, and the rare variations that can turn an everyday coin into something truly collectible. Now let's be clear before the hype takes over. No confirmed 2022 D nickel has ever sold for millions of dollars. Claims like that are often exaggerated to grab attention. However, that doesn't mean this coin has no value beyond 5 cents. In fact, certain rare examples, especially those in flawless condition or with unusual mint errors, can sell for hundreds of dollars, and sometimes even more depending on demand. The first thing that can increase the value of a 2022 D nickel is its condition. Coins that have never been used in circulation, known as mint state coins, are far more desirable. A perfectly preserved nickel with no scratches, no dullness, and strong original shine can achieve high grades from professional grading services, and that alone can raise its value significantly. One of the most important features collectors look for on Jefferson nickels is something called full steps. This refers to the steps of Monticello on the reverse side of the coin. If all the steps are clearly visible and sharply struck without breaks, the coin is considered superior in quality. A 2022 D nickel with full steps and a high grade becomes much more valuable than an average example. But the real excitement begins when we talk about mint errors. These are the accidental mistakes that occur during production, and they are what make certain coins stand out. A double die error, for example, creates a noticeable doubling effect in the lettering or date. Even a slight doubling can attract serious collectors and push the coin's value far above its face value. Another fascinating type of error is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not perfectly aligned during the minting process, causing part of the design to be missing or shifted. The more dramatic the misalignment, the more collectors are willing to pay. These coins are rare because most errors are caught before they leave the mint. Die cracks and die chips also play a role in value. These occur when the minting dies begin to wear or crack over time. The result is small raised lines or bumps on the coin's surface. While they might look like flaws to an untrained eye, collectors often see them as unique characteristics that make the coin special. There are also die clash errors, where the front and back dies strike each other without a coin in between. This leaves faint, ghost-like images on the coin that shouldn't be there. On a 2022 D nickel, such an error can create a mysterious and highly collectible appearance. Another detail that can increase value is luster, the way light reflects off the coin's surface. A strong, vibrant luster indicates a well-preserved coin, while a dull surface suggests wear. Collectors are always drawn to coins that look as fresh and brilliant as the day they were minted. Despite all these possibilities, it's important to remember that over 1 billion nickels are produced each year. That means rarity doesn't come from the year alone, it comes from uniqueness. Only a tiny percentage of 2022 D nickels have the qualities that collectors are willing to pay extra for. The idea of becoming rich overnight from a single coin is exciting, but it's not realistic for this particular year and type. However, finding a coin worth hundreds of dollars in your everyday change is absolutely possible, and that's what keeps collectors searching. What makes this even more interesting is that these coins are still in circulation. That means anyone can find one. You don't need expensive equipment or years of experience. All it takes is attention to detail and a willingness to look closely at something most people ignore. So the next time you come across a 2022 D nickel, don't just spend it without a second thought. Hold it, examine it, and look for anything unusual. Check the steps, the letters, the surface, and the shine. You might not find a fortune, but you could find something far more valuable than 5 cents. In the end, the 2022 D Jefferson nickel is a reminder that value is often hidden in plain sight. It may not turn you into a billionaire overnight, but it carries the thrill of possibility. And sometimes, that small chance of discovery is worth more than the coin itself.